y'all doing?
Nico Rhymes was just saying how had a good meeting with you. He said, I was like, you're in a really good place. How would you characterize, I would say 1-3 not what you hope for, but just your outlook for the team, the offense, everything improving?
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm faithful to the process and to our team. And, yeah, I'm just, charging every day, staying positive and, trying to take guys with me to win games. So, yeah.
CJ, what's been your message to the team this week as one of the leaders as you guys try to get on track?
Stay together, stick together, stay positive, be urgent, just simple things like that. I think, just everybody kind of knows what's up, but also I have to, make sure that I'm vocal about it as well.
CJ, you're a captain on this team. You have a real strong pulse of the locker room and of the players. At what point did you all realize that maybe that CJ Gardner-Johnson wasn't a good fit for this team?
I don't really think I felt like that or the team. I mean, I think they have their own reasons, Nick and D'Amico. And, I think as a team, we brought him in and he was part of the locker room and, everybody was, our whole team is close, like we all hang out with one another pretty much. It's sometimes like defense, offense, or DBs, quarterbacks, like whatever that would. I thought he did well with his DBs and everything, so it's not really, my position to speak on that. I like CD as a person. I think he's growing as a man. He's trying to find a relationship with God, which I think is dope. So yeah, I wish him nothing but the best. And I'm gonna always be here for him if he ever needs me. But yeah, I'm always gonna be a fan of him.
I imagine, when you lose, it can be tough for some people to keep the faith. Is the closeness that you all have what keeps you going, or is it, what else is it that keeps you all going that you all can during things like that?
Yeah, definitely. I think just seeing everybody's families after the game. Seeing guys on the phone with their kids. Like things like that. For me, that motivates me as well. But yeah, it's easy to have faith. When you're doing well. But now it's we've been checked. And now it's, that's when real faith kicks in when you can't really see it just yet. So, our process is right now. We just got to just put it on the field. And I think that motivation of having everybody around has been good.
How has the grasp of the system been? I know in the past with the system, it's been mentioned as kind of like hard to pick up, even going back with Deshaun. Are you picking up the system? Do you find it to be a little bit difficult?
I wouldn't say it'd be difficult. It's just new. Like everything takes time. I think it's something that you just, as you keep going along, keep pushing forward. And I think sometimes failure is some of the best recipe for breakthrough. Even though it sucks, it's not good in the moment, but I believe that I'll be great from it, and I'm learning a bunch. I think our team is starting to pick it up. But yeah, it's like I said, it's a mixture of doing some of the old stuff that they've done in their past. Nick and but also, doing some things that we're good at. So we're just finding that balance right now.
Last season, when Bobby was here, there was a conversation about the tempo of the offense. And, this past week is one thing that D'Amico has been talking about again as far as tempo is concerned. What does that mean for the person outside looking in? What is the tempo? How do you pick up the tempo on offense?
I mean, that's, it could be going fast. It could be getting out the huddle faster. There's like a couple different ways you can go about it. But yeah, every offense wants to play with tempo and great urgency. We've been able to, to get on the ball fast and do things well, like in that light. So yeah, I think that stuff has been good for us. And I thought we've gotten better with our huddle operation. Getting out the huddle faster. So yeah, all that stuff is great. And outside looking in, that's pretty much what that is. It's just being urgent to the ball and, just playing, making the defense kind of play catch up.
As a team, you guys have obviously faced some adversity, whether it's missing some key guys, just the start to the season, and even this week. How has this maybe challenged you as a leader, just overall as you continue to grow in that role?
Yeah, I think every year has its own challenges. I know everybody always brings up like the past, but every year is different. And for me, I think in my past, like there's times where it gets hard, and you just try to like get past it instead of like leaning in to like see what you can learn from. And right now I'm just in that process of like doing both, like fighting through it, getting through it, and then also leaning in and seeing what I can learn about myself, about this team, about the NFL, about defense. So to me, I think it's something that, of course, it's new to me. Like I haven't started like this yet in the NFL, but also I've had this happen in my career before. So yeah, I'm just learning. I wouldn't say as a leader, it's surprising, that it's challenging, but I think that's what's dope about being a leader is, when everything is tough, who keeps the faith? And I think that's for me is like the definition of faith is like of what you cannot see. Like, are you going to trust that? Because everybody, like, if God appeared right here, everybody, oh, I believe in God now, like it's easy, I know that's a whole different subject, but that's kind of like just how I think about it. Like, I'm going to just, as a leader, keep the faith knowing that I haven't seen it just yet on the field.
CJ, in 2018, the Texans were 0-3, and they made the playoffs. Last year, the Rams were an example of a team that had a very slow start. People kind of wrote them off, and they wound up going to the divisional round. Do you see the potential here for the turnaround? Do you think that you guys can do that, and did those examples mean anything to you?
Yeah, I think it's one game at a time, one play at a time. Like, it's cool because the NFL is crazy. Like, crazy things happen every week, and I think, if you go in like, oh, we'll just go make the playoffs at the end. Like, yeah, that of course that's the goal, but also you got to just chip away, and you think about the end in mind, but also you got to just want to know every play, want to know every down, want to know every game, and that's the goal. I think that you have to start with. But yeah, I definitely think it's possible, and I think I'm hopeful for that. And I definitely think we have the team, and it's not like we're getting blown out. You know what I'm saying? We're very close, and we got to just really pick up our urgency. And I think that's what it's going to take is that exactly.
You talk about taking it 1 week at a time, but with where you guys are at, do you consider this week a must-win?
Every week is a must-win to me. So yeah.
You mentioned it happening another time in your career. I'm assuming it's high school. I guess what did you learn from that instance when you didn't have that time?
I learned a lot. Yeah, I was probably like, it was my first time starting in high school, my junior year. I was like 15 or 16. And yeah, it was tough, man. Like, the whole school hated us. Like, people were riding on the boards. Like, our football team's trash. Like, yeah, it sucked, but I think like it prepared me for like, what's going on now. And that's why I just, I stay rooted and anchored into, the people who pour into me, who love me, and who I love. And I kind of just let the cards play where it's at. And I think for this team, like, I was talking to Kels, like, to Aaron's point, like, they were 2-6 last year, and everybody wrote them off. So that's what you give people an inch, they'll take a mile. And I think that's the goal is, like, just keep it internal and keep our eyes set on our goals, whatever it looks like. It changes. Like, if we went 3-0, it would look different. We went 1-2, it would look different. So every year's going to look different. So, yeah, in high school, it definitely was tough, but I think it's prepared me. College, same thing. We lost to Oregon my second start ever, and I sucked too. Everybody hated me again. So, like, I'm kind of just, like, it is what it is. And I just, just stay true to my process and my beliefs and my faith.
I was just going to say, with that being said, knowing the adversity that you all, like you said, are going through in this 0-3 start, how are you still able to block out? And I think I ask you this every week about blocking out the noise, but like, this latest thing now is, well, CJ showed up with this hat on again. How are you able to block out that kind of stuff?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
There's a lot of fans upset that you had on a Yankees hat. A lot of Astros fans.
Like, I don't care about that. That's not my business.
Block out that type of, that's the type of stuff that's going on in a lot of the fans that you may not hear, on that, but there's a lot of things that we all hear. I just want to know, how do you deal with blocking out?
Yeah, I don't see none of it. I'm not on social media. And yeah, I honestly, that everybody has, like, the right to their opinion. If they don't like what I wear, I would just not look at it if I was them. So I'm going to wear what I want. And I don't think I'm being disrespectful. If I was being disrespectful, then that's a whole different, case. But, at the end of the day, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm all good. But yeah, I just don't really pay attention to it. And, I just try to just focus on what I can control and focus on the people who pour into me and are around me. So yeah.
mental standpoint, going back to the slow start, is it kind of like taking the bad stuff that comes with being a quarterback and the inevitable struggles? Does it look more difficult when it starts out so good and then the inevitable struggles come after?
We kind of had that last year. I think both are difficult, probably equally. Yeah, I don't know. It's always, I don't know. It could be both ways. It's whatever in front of you, like.
Because you probably didn't anticipate it after year one, like just naturally, because it went so well, and then it happens. But if you flip year 1 and 3, you would be like, oh, he's figuring it out.
Well, you don't. I mean, I can't. Like that's like if I get a deck of cards, I'm playing Uno with y'all, and I'm like, dang, I wish I had all +4s. Like, I can play those games all day in my head, but if it's not my reality, it's not my reality. So I got to play my reality. I'm solid. I'm solid. Yeah, my domino game is a lot better. So.
CJ, earlier today you said that you're learning a lot. What are some of those things, if you can share, that you're learning?
Just to stay rooted in my beliefs, in my process, in my faith. Those are probably like my main things right now. Yeah, just being anchored in who is pouring into me and who loves me and who also I love as well, and like to just to love myself. I think that's a key point into life that I haven't really unlocked for a long time, and I'm starting to get that now. The Bible says love your neighbor as you love yourself, but it's hard to love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. And that's not being selfish, but just thinking of yourself less, but also helping others. So so that's what I'm learning. Thank you guys.